Welcome back to CO Sports Talk. As you can see here, Oliver is not here. He has a concussion and is not allowed to be with screens or something. So Will is going to sub in for our full 2022 World Cup predictions. Here we go. We got Qatar kicking off, coming soon, and we are super excited because this Qatar World Cup is during Thanksgiving break, during the winter, and we're starting to get pretty excited for it. So let's predict these Qatar World Cup, Will.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. You know, wishing Oliver the best in his speedy recovery, but the World Cup doesn't wait, my guy. So we out
Yeah.
here, Qatar.
So here we go. Let's predict it. So excited. Top I'm excited I've ever been for a sporting event. Maybe first. Who knows? USA's back in the World Cup, and we made these Google slides. Took us a while, so let's get it started. We do every sport here at CS Sports Talk. So yeah, let's get it going. All right. So here we go. World Cup predictions 2022 Qatar. So as you can see here, we got a lot of the stars here. We got Ziyech from Morocco, Kai Havertz from Germany, Luis Suarez and Neymar, Ronaldo, Son from Korea. So let's get it going. Starting it off with Group A. Here we go. So I'll go first. I put the points. When I'm filling the points, it's all good. So okay, here we go. First of all, I got Netherlands getting first in this group. A lot of people see, Will doesn't have it, but a lot of people have Netherlands winning the group and getting all 9 points. I don't see it. I actually think this Ecuador team is going to tie them, and the Netherlands will do a solid job and get through this group and get 7 points. And second, I got Ecuador. I think Ecuador's a solid team. They're going to get a tie in there, two ties with Senegal and Netherlands. And they're going to beat Qatar. I think Ecuador's really good. They did really good through World Cup qualifying, and this Ecuador team is really good at drawing ties. They're able to get ties. They have a good defense. They have a lot of guys that play at LAFC, Brighton, and I think Ecuador's an underrated team in South America. I think Will kind of has that too. At three, I have Senegal. Just Sadio Mane getting hurt really screwed this team over. I think they'll tie twice. Tie Qatar and Ecuador and lose the Netherlands. And last but not least, I have Qatar. And this is such a brutal team to predict because I think Qatar could surprise a lot of people. Um, they have some solid players, and then they're in their home country, obviously, kind of like South Africa in 2010. That team did really well, or Russia in 2018. So I think Qatar actually has a shot of advancing, but I just went with the other three to edge them. But I got them to tie Senegal. But I could see actually Ecuador and Qatar tying in the opening game of the whole World Cup. But yeah, Will, what do you got?
Yeah, so I got Ecuador at the top of the bracket. And there's been some speculation that they're trying to rig the Qatar game. And I think Ecuador said as part of the deal, they gotta let them finish top of the bracket. And I think, the South America teams are just gritty like that. A lot of passion for footy. So I feel like Ecuador is gonna top that bracket. And then second, I got Qatar. Yeah, I probably can't name a single player on their team, but they're playing at home. I mean, when like their soccer team probably got like invented in the last 10 like years. I mean, I feel like they're probably gonna pull some strings. It's Qatar. And then third, Netherlands. Although on paper they're definitely the best squad in this group. I mean, with Qatar and Ecuador doing some scheming, where's the room for Netherlands to get through? Although I wouldn't be surprised if they do good. And then Senegal, no Sadio Mane. Some passionate footballers, but they're gonna finish fourth. I think maybe they get a tie and two losses.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. Group A, and it's kind of a tough one to predict because honestly, I feel like you could make like an argument about any of these teams winning this group.
Yeah.
On to Group B. This group is actually considered the group of death if you take every single FIFA ranking of it, all eight groups, and this one has the lowest rankings of all four teams. You add them all up. So this would be the FIFA ranking group of death: England, USA, Iran, Wales. So I'll go first. I have England getting first in this group. United States of America, our home country, getting second. Iran third, and Wales fourth. So I have USA and England tying on Black Friday. I just think that the United States are going to play them really well. The whole country is really underestimating USA. They don't understand that this team has a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. I think the United States tie Iran is I think Iran's one of the most underrated teams out there. Well, I mean, this team's a
Yeah.
really solid team that does a lot of damage. They almost advanced in a Portugal and Spain group when they were in the 2018 World Cup. And last but not least, I actually have Wales struggling in this World Cup, not getting a single point. But for the United States, I just think they're super underestimated. Even the United States fans really want their coach out. But I mean, Greg Berhalter's done a lot. He's beaten Mexico time after time. Won the CONCACAF Nations League, won the Gold Cup with our B team against the Mexico A team. I think Greg Berhalter's been a really solid coach for the United States, and I think it's all going to come together. We have a really good mix of MLS guys and guys that play in Europe. I think this United States team will end up tying England, tying Iran, and beat Wales. And then England's going to win the group. Iran just misses out, and USA and England advance to the round of 16.
Yeah, those are some good takes. I mean, I have England at the top of the bracket, but I wouldn't be surprised if USA or Iran finish there. Even I could see the UK taking in a donut in this bracket and USA and Iran getting through. But England definitely has a good squad. I mean, they love their soccer over there. And then USA at second. I feel like we have a great mix of the MLS guys and the Europe players. And it's like high school vibes. Like you have the gritty high schoolers, then you have like the MLS next, like bum kids who pay and then they can't play high school soccer. And I think that's what our team is, just a mix of like gritty playmakers from the MLS and then the flashy Euro boys. So I think hopefully we can get it done. It will be weird that like watching the World Cup with like no Tim Howard running the show or like Michael Bradley. Like our stars are actually from Europe this year, which is kind of wild.
Facts.
And then, I mean, yeah, Iran at third, but I wouldn't be surprised if they win a game or two. I mean, this bracket is so heated, like politically. I mean, I don't really know if England and Wales get along that well. They're in the UK, but USA and Iran, like there have been shots fired between these two nations, and I feel like, I mean, it could get dirty. I mean, playing on in athletics, like I mean in soccer, is the greatest stage to show your might. And I'm really happy for all these games. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wales is out of contention, but they spoil England's tries by like tying them in like they play pretty late, I think. And so like a tie that ruins England's chances, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I actually really like that. I mean, this group really could go anywhere. And we're not talking about Wales that much, but I think Wales is also a really good team, to be fair. Like, obviously Gareth Bale, but they also have some other cats that can definitely play. But yeah, damn, I'm just juiced for this group. Look, all right, Group C, we got Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia. So I like Argentina to take this group. A lot of people once again have Argentina killing everyone, but I actually like Mexico and Argentina to tie. I think Mexico plays the good teams really, really well. I remember in 2014, they tied a really solid Brazil team in Brazil 0-0. Ochoa went crazy. And then last World Cup in 2018, that Mexico team beat Germany. But then another thing that Mexico will do is they'll kind of play down to their opponents at the same time. So I think they're going to actually tie Saudi Arabia and tie Argentina as well, and then beat Poland. So I think Mexico is going to advance, getting 5 points. Argentina will tie Mexico, win the other two. And I like Poland just to fall to Mexico, and Argentina beat Saudi Arabia. And once again, Saudi Arabia will get the result versus Mexico. But yeah, I like Argentina and Mexico to advance. Once again, Mexico just not quite getting that first place spot in their group, and they're going to have to get the second place spot, which may screw them in the round of 16. But I like Argentina to win it, and I like Messi to have a really, really good World Cup, as Argentina's on a 36 game win streak, or game not in a lose streak, undefeated streak. And I mean, I think they have a really good mix of young and old guys, and that Copa America really set them in a good spot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have the exact same results here. But Argentina, I feel like they got to get it done. It's probably Messi's last World Cup. And they also have, like, I mean, plenty of other studs. Uh, I mean, I don't think FIFA would let Messi get knocked out in the first round. He's got to make it through. And then Mexico, I mean, they just they find ways to win, and then I feel like maybe they'll come up short, but I feel like they get through. And then Poland, I mean, everyone's talking about like Messi and Ronaldo's last World Cup, even Neymar's maybe, but no one's talking about Lewandowski. It's probably his last World Cup. He's kind of old too. I mean, he's a superstar for Poland, and
Fact.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he is a great. They could even go like Croatia style last year, just like I mean, an average team with a good superstar to build around like Luka Modric, and I mean, they could go far. So I mean, I'm excited for this. And then Saudi Arabia at the bottom. I mean, yeah, they're just kind of imposter among these good teams. I wouldn't be surprised with any of the top three making it through.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Saudi Arabia did just tie USA in a pre thing back in like September. So that was good for them. But yeah, I mean, any of the three, Mexico, Poland's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, facts.
Group D. So it looks like me and Will both have a shocking, you know, no France. But yeah, I like Denmark to go and win all three. I think Denmark's gonna have themselves the World Cup of their lives. I think it's kind of like their golden generation. Obviously, we saw what they did in the Euros after Ericsson went down. They backed behind him, and that team almost won the Euros. I mean, they were so close. They got a phantom penalty call from Sterling when he flopped. That team could have easily made the Euro finals and beat England in the Euro semis. I think Denmark's going to do really well this World Cup and win. And I like Australia to, beat out France. I think that this France team is really struggling right now. They lost Karim Benzema today, and they've lost a ton of guys in their midfield with no Conte, no Pogba. And the streak, I believe in the curse. I don't think that France is going to advance due to the fact that there's that curse that the teams that have won the World Cup in the following World Cup don't advance out of the group stage. And I believe that continues. And Australia gets the better of them when they play. And France will beat Tunisia. Tunisia will tie Australia. And then Denmark will win the group. So I have Denmark and Australia.
Yeah, I like that take about Denmark getting through. It's low key becoming a little mainstream of them to be like
Facts.
the kind of Cinderella story, I guess. But they are legit, and I think they'll probably top of the bracket. I mean, also France is battling so many injuries. I mean, you lose the best player in the world right now. It sucks. But I mean, they still have Mbappe, and I feel like it's becoming too mainstream that they're supposed to lose the curse. So I think this year they break it because everyone's like, oh, they're gonna lose. And then, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I have them getting out just because of the curse. And Australia, uh, from down under, it's summertime there. So I mean, we're all like been training in the cold, but in Australia it's summer, so they've been training in the heat, just like in Qatar. So I think they're gonna have some good environmental, just environmental boost, like when like Pokemon Go and you get the weather boost. I think Australia is running that right now. And then Tunisia, I'm sorry, like if you gave me a map and said locate Tunisia and my life depended on it, like tell my mom I love her, man. I don't know where it is, but I'm really happy for them to get to be on the world stage and just I mean the World Cup is awesome. It doesn't matter if you suck, like you're here for a good time in Qatar.
I mean, I could locate Tunisia, Northern Africa. They made the World Cup in 2018. But yeah, um, hey man, what if Tunisia shocks you, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I no, I'd be happy for it. I'm here for all the feel good stories.
Yeah, that's facts. I mean, you don't have France advancing, so that says something in itself. But yeah, I like this is a really group that I agree. It's a very mainstream upset. Like everyone at a school kind of is really hot on that Denmark upset, and it's making me kind of second guess myself. Is as one of the OG Denmarks. Now I'm starting to get a little worried about it. But yeah, this Denmark team also very hot on their goalie, Kasper Schmeichel. So yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we're
Schmeichel's
out to
awesome.
Group B. Group E, a lot of people think this is one of the group of deaths. We got Germany, Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica. So I like Germany to win this group. I think they kind of avenged that struggle they had in 2018 where they didn't even advance to the round of 16. And I think they have a really solid World Cup where they get 7 points. I think Japan gets second over Spain, and Japan makes it into the round of 16. I think Japan's on really good form right now, and that's a team that comes together every single World Cup and has really good team unison and chemistry. And not to mention, they looked really good in their pre-World Cup fixtures. They're on good form right now. They beat the United States 2-0 and dominated versus the USA. And I like Spain to get third. I mean, I think that Spain just is struggling right now, and they don't have a striker. Who's the guy in Spain that's going to put the ball in and score for them? And that's been an issue for them ever since they won in 2010. They obviously didn't advance in 2014. 2018, they got upset by Russia. I don't like them to advance this year. And I don't really believe in Spain right now. And for Costa Rica, that's just a team that anything could happen, obviously. In 2014, Costa Rica was in the so-called group of death, and they ended up advancing and had one of the most insane runs ever. So we could see they obviously have a really good goalie in Keller Navas. So I don't think they're going to get any points, but I wouldn't be surprised if they could force some draws with really good goalkeeping, obviously by Navas.
Yeah, and then I mean, for me, I mean Spain and Germany are two very historic, programs. And I mean Spain, they had some kind of edgy cuts, as you'd say, for the roster. I mean, no David De Gea. Uh, didn't they cut who else? Sergio Ramos, didn't he get cut?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of edgy cuts, but it was like the USA when we had our nice run. We cut Landon Donovan, I think,
Mhm.
oh, the feel good guy. But sometimes you got to be out with the old, in with the new. And I think Spain is just a talented group that will win. And then Germany, they're not cursed this year, so I think they get through. I mean, they're always a pretty solid squad. And then Japan, they can make things happen. I feel like the Asian countries spoil a lot of games for teams in the past. So, I mean, it's a quality squad. And then, I mean, this is just a dangerous group. Keylor Navas for Costa Rica can definitely keep them in games. I mean, the goalie is the one position that really can kind of solo on the pitch. And I mean, they had a nice run. And I mean, I'm happy to see them in the World Cup. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is a very competitive group, but like there's no imposters in this group, is what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And for Spain, I think that they're a good mix of I mean, I don't have them mixing, but you're right, they are a good mix of young and old. Like they got Sergio Busquets still. They have the fullback Azpilicueta. They have all those guys, Koke, but then they also have a ton of young guys that are coming up, and like Danny Olmo. And they still have Morata on that team that, struggle. But yeah, it's just for me, I don't know who's going to be putting the ball in, who's going to be scoring for the Spain team. It's going to be tough to see. But yeah, interesting roster for them. Um, roster that was selected. So yeah, let's move on to Group F, and this is a fun one. Belgium, Morocco, Canada, Croatia, and I personally have Croatia not advancing. I think that their golden generation peaked in 2018. They had themselves an amazing run going all the way to the World Cup final, and I think that they're all just a little bit older now. Modric is a little bit out of his prime, and I don't like Croatia to advance. I like Belgium to win this group, followed by Morocco, who I believe is going to have a stunning run. Ziyech, who plays for Chelsea, is a really good player, and I think Morocco shocks a lot of people and gets second place. Canada third. I know you're really high on Canada, Will, but I think that Canada is solid. They ended up getting some wins, versus Croatia. I think they'll beat them, and they'll have a really solid game versus Morocco. We'll see though. But yeah, I like Canada beat out Croatia. And this is once again another group where it could go anyway. All these teams. I mean, really any team that makes the World Cup is good. But
Yeah.
all these teams could maybe win the group. And then also for Belgium, I think it's their last chance. The golden generation ends here. Are they going to win or not? Is this a shot to win? We will see. Because I think, they've had their shots in 2014 out of 2022 with the golden generation. De Bruyne, Courtois, all those guys. Is this the time that they finally can do it and win the World Cup? We will see. Lukaku, him too.
Yeah. I mean, I have Canada at the top. I feel like, you know, Alfonso Davies is going to carry the boys from Canada, the nice fellas. And I think they're going to have a good World Cup. And I think all of CONCACAF is going to have a good World Cup. It's kind of like we're on the main stage now. We're not just like those guys over the pond. We're pretty solid. And then at two, I have Belgium. Everyone has been saying like their golden generation, oh, is time running out? I don't think time is running out, but I think they have a great shot this year. I think, they got the old heads. I mean, Eden Hazard. I mean, it's a great feel good story. Two brothers on the same team. Like, that's pretty awesome. And then they got De Bruyne, Courtois. Like, they have a really good squad and they had a great run last World Cup. So I think they can definitely make stuff happen. And then at three, Croatia. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of, I mean, although it's a good squad, Modric, he's just he's not the Ballon d'Or winner this year. He's not really. I don't think he can carry them that like through this tough bracket. And at four, Morocco. Although I think they have a great squad, or I mean, like for a smaller country like Morocco, I mean, Hakimi and Ziyech are both really solid like players in Europe, and I think this is a very competitive bracket, but this is just how it ends up. But I mean, ending in fourth, it'll be a proud fourth place, I think.
Got you. So there we have it. Group F, another one that could go anyway. On to Group G. I like Brazil absolutely dominating this group and winning this group. I think this Brazil team is one of the most exciting Brazil teams we've seen so far. Their attack is lethal. This team is super fun. They have a lot of hype going into the World Cup, and I think they follow the hype in their group stage. In second, I have Serbia. I think Serbia ends up beating Switzerland this time. And by the way, it's Brazil, Serbia, and Switzerland were all together in 2018 in the same group, which is pretty wild. And they're back together. But I think Serbia ends up beating Switzerland this time. And that's because they have Mitrovic from Fulham, who is a dog, scores tons of points. It's going to get you maybe the Ballon d'Or winner or of the group stage. I think he may score the most goals. So if you're a prop better, maybe hit that. But yeah, I think Serbia gets second, has a really underrated run this year, and third is Switzerland this time. And unfortunately for Cameroon, I don't like them to advance, but I think they keep it close against Serbia and Switzerland. This Cameroon team is a team that's going to fight, and any team that makes the World Cup is going to fight as well. But for me, I don't like Cameroon to end up getting any points. How about you, Will?
Yeah, so I mean, Brazil at the one like their squad is just nuts. I mean, their
Their
attackers,
goalie situation too is
their
good.
goalie, I mean, the two best goalies in the Prem. Then they have, I mean, Neymar, Richarlison, Vinny Jr., like uh Gabby Jesus. I mean, this squad is just nuts. Even their defenders. I mean, I think they did a great job taking Danny Alves, a great vet to have on the squad.
Fact.
And but I mean, easily the best team. Like they're any of their forwards, I think like someone is going to be on the bench of probably the four forwards, and they would be the guy in any other country, I think. So it's a nuts squad. I think, I mean, this is the year I think Neymar really proves himself. People kind of forget, or not forget about him, but it's always just, oh, Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo. Neymar is in like the next tier with like Lewandowski, and I think he proves himself this tournament and wins. I mean, I don't want to give anything away for my awards, but I think Neymar's gonna have a great tournament. And then Cameroon, I didn't really have any Africa representation in my other groups, so I gotta mix it up. I can't be having too many countries from the same place make it through. And I think Cameroon gets it done for Africa. There's some
That
pretty
never
tricky.
happens either. There's always a team, from everywhere that advances to the round of 16.
Yeah, that's why I had to get them in. I think their jerseys are hard. They're gonna be feeling good getting through. But I mean, Puma did go with that weird like marathon jersey with like the little box. I mean, we're not running the turkey trot 5K here, but maybe they were thinking that because it is Thanksgiving break. So I'm with them. And then third and fourth, Serbia and Switzerland. Uh, I feel like they just come away with a couple like ties and just kind of get boned out of it. And I mean, they're good squads. Again, another very competitive group. All the groups this year are really good. I
Yeah.
mean, it just seems like a super competitive World Cup, which is could be awesome. But yeah, I have them taking third and fourth.
Yeah, man. I wish I was in Qatar really to watch this. And there's a person that's trying to go for all 64 games. Shout out Thogden. You think he'll do it well? Because I mean, this is the time to do it. And all the stadiums are in Doha.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he can get it done. Hopefully, it doesn't get shut down in Qatar. They had some tactical political moves, shutting down beer. I knew what they were doing there. They got everyone out there, then shut down drinking and everything. You knew that was coming. They've been planning that. They just want everyone out there. But I think Thogden can get it done, and Thogdad is really a trooper. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, they are pretty close to stadiums. I don't know how close, but I think, yeah, they can get it done.
Look at that. Watch their vlogs and find out. All right, last group. We got Group H, and I have Uruguay winning this group. Uruguay has a new coach to a more attacking mindset, and I think they have a really, really good mix of young and old. They obviously still have the vets with Godin, Suarez, who actually plays for a club in Uruguay now, but he's still a solid player. And of course, Cavani. But then they also have a lot of young, upcoming guys that are going to be really interesting for Uruguay to watch. They also have another vet in goal in Muslera. But yeah, so I like Uruguay to win this group. Um, Portugal, I like Portugal to get second. Um, I think they struggle a little bit, but they end up beating Ghana and South Korea just by a little. And then I got Ghana in second. I have them tying Uruguay actually in a revenge game from that 2010 World Cup. I think they're going to play them really hard. So they're going to tie Uruguay and then they're going to tie South Korea. And that'll be South Korea's point. And man, this is such a tough group to predict because all four of these teams are teams that I think would advance in maybe other groups. Ghana is one of Africa's best teams. South Korea is one of Asia's best teams. And then Uruguay, of course, from South America and Portugal from Europe. This is a really, really solid group that's tough to predict, but it had to go with the big dogs in Uruguay and Portugal. But this could really go any way. Son just coming off an injury, so I'm not sure how South Korea will play.
Yeah, I also have Uruguay at the top. I mean, their roster may not look the most insane, but I mean, they're just a winning country. They do whatever it takes, even if that's very frowned upon behavior. But I think Luis Suarez, a great vet to have on the team. I mean, Cavani, I think, is one of the most underrated strikers in soccer. I think he's like the Derrick Henry of strikers. He's just kind of a bruiser, and he gets the ball in the back of the net. So I think they're gonna top this bracket. And then Portugal, Ronaldo's not he's not getting kicked out first group stage. So I think Portugal gets second. And then Ghana, is it versus Ghana when Suarez like handballed it really
Yeah,
dirty?
it was. So that's why I said it's like a
Yeah.
revenge game for
So I
them.
think I think we get a nasty like 0-0 tie, Uruguay Ghana.
Facts. That's what I said.
Like I think yeah, Ghana that's gonna be a really fun game. I mean, maybe dirty, but I don't think Ghana's like that. And South Korea, yeah, Sunny, it's just too much of a question in the air to have them doing good. But
Yeah.
I mean, Korea again, like they kind of just mess up brackets and maybe they'll tie Portugal, like dropping them to second or something. Like they're a bracket buster.
And this Portugal team is stacked. Obviously, they have Fernandez in the midfield, Ronaldo, Jeff Felix. Um, it's a good team. So we'll see. And they obviously still have all those guys like the veterans down with Pepe, So we'll see with Portugal. And then for Uruguay, as we said, they have good players in the midfield though, Vecino, Bentancur, and then they obviously have the vets. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting group H. So that is the group stage. And let's get into the knockout round. We are into the round of 16, and here is mine. Starting it off, we got the Netherlands taking on the United States, the winner of Group A, taking on the second place team of Group B. And I have the United States winning 2-1 in extra time with Jesus Ferreira, the striker, a person that I think is going to shock a lot of people in this World Cup. A lot of United States fans that are mad he made the team because, he plays for Dallas FC. I think he gets the game winner, 1-1. Ferreira scores, and the United States make it into the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002 and have an amazing World Cup, beating the Netherlands. So shout out Jesus Ferreira, as you see down there. What a prediction that is. All right, Argentina and Australia. I have Argentina beating them 3-1 and moving on to the next round, but a great World Cup that would be for Australia. Germany and Morocco. I have the Germans beating Morocco. Close game, but I like the Germans winning that round of 16. And then Brazil, Portugal. Both these countries speak Portuguese. So it'd be a really, really big battle, but I like Brazil to win and maybe Ronaldo's World Cup career. England versus Ecuador, close, very close. And once again, 2-1. England just finds a way to win this game. Denmark, Mexico. I mean, man, death taxes in Mexico losing in the round of 16 of the World Cup. I have it continuing, but I think Mexico actually has a really good shot if this comes true because Denmark isn't like an amazing number one group winner. I think maybe Mexico could do it as they have a lot of talent, but I just think Denmark is a bit more consistent. Like we saw in the pre-World Cup stuff, I was there. Mexico's up 2-0 at halftime versus Colombia, and they ended up losing that game 3-2. So I know Mexico just has to get their consistency. The Mexico fans are not big fans of their coach, Tata Martino. So we'll see. but Mexico definitely has the talent, and I like them to get out of their group. They are a very solid squad. And then Belgium, Japan. I like Japan to have a shocking upset and beat Belgium. Revenge
W.
2018 in Japan to make it to the quarterfinals. And I like Uruguay to cover versus Serbia and make it to the quarterfinals. So let's check out what Will has in the round of 16.
Yeah, so starting on the left, I got USA dethroning Ecuador. I think, I mean, I believe that we will win, shall I say. And I think, I mean, it's USA's year. It's our best squad, on paper in a while. And I think the MLS guys are gonna shine and people are gonna realize the MLS is just as good as the Prem League and they should have a Champions League spot. And I mean, again, just we're not just over the pond, we're just as good. And then next game, I got Argentina. I mean, it's Messi's year, although I don't know if he's gonna win it. I think he's gonna play his heart out in his last World Cup. And I think the refs, there might be some iffy calls here and there to get Messi through. He might get a little assistance, but Argentina is a great squad and they haven't lost in like I don't know how long it's been. It's been a while since they lost.
36 games.
Yeah, 36 games. And then next, I have Brazil, the conquerors versus just the native people of Brazil. You know, Portugal, I mean, karma, Buddhism. I think Brazil is again the top squad in this tournament, and I think they end Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo's been kind of a diva trying to leave Man United. He's not a team player. I think he's a little distracted, and I think Brazil shocks Portugal 6-0, and I think Ronaldo misses a penalty kick, a mental like error, and Brazil ends Ronaldo's career and the international stage. And then next, England versus Qatar. I think Qatar's feel good story ends here. You know, maybe they pulled some strings to get through to the playoffs, should you say? But it ends here. They're going to be happy with making it out of the group stage, and England is going to be hungry. And I think Qatar, they're gracious host at the end of the day.
That'd be a
And
W World Cup for them to make it to the.
yeah, if they even tie a game, it'd be a W World Cup for them. So, yeah, they're gonna lose to England. And then next, Mexico. I think, you know, Mexico versus Denmark. This is going to be a game. Mexico historically does choke. So then it's becoming mainstream that they do choke. People are going to choose them to choke. So I'm choosing them not to be. And I think this year they're going to be the solid Mexico that their fans really aspire for. And I think Mexico's going far. And then
Wow.
next, Canada over Germany, CONCACAF again. I mean, the Germans have a really solid squad. I think Serge Gnabry. They got a couple. Is Mueller still on
Yeah, he's on the squad.
Bayern? Yeah, and I think Alfonso Davies, the king of Germany, Bayern Munich. I think he stays on top. And at the end of the day, they're Germany. How can you hate the Canadians? So I think Alfonso Davies wins this one in kind of a friendly match. They thank him for his work with Bayern, and then he gets it done for the Canadians. You can't hate Canadian people. And then next, Uruguay, Cameroon. Although I don't have a single uh African team making it to the round of 8, which Loki has messed up on my bracket because I gotta, I mean, just for the patterns, everything. But Uruguay again, a solid squad. Luis Suarez, Cavani. I think Cavani's gonna have a great tournament. I think they just get it done versus Cameroon.
Love it. All right, let's move on to the quarterfinals, shall we? United States versus Argentina, two countries that I've lived in. This would be an amazing experience, obviously. But I like Argentina just getting this one done. I said it 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago that I think 2018 was obviously a horrible time for the United States men's national team. However, I said in 2022, I believe that we're going to make the quarterfinals. In 2026, I believe we're going to win the whole thing. On the road to do that, I think this will happen, and we're going to lose to Argentina. Tyler Adams is gonna have a great game. Wes McKinney, great game. Matt Turner in goal, beautiful. The center backs will mess up. Some clumsy pass. Messi will take advantage of it. Argentina will win 1-0. Germany, Brazil, a rematch of the 2014 semifinal game that was 7-1. I like Brazil this time, taking advantage of Germany and ending them. I think obviously their veterans are a little bit old and their youngins are just getting adjusted. Well, Brazil has the World Cup experience and a bit better firepower, and I like Brazil to get it over with. Also, in the goaltending sense, in 2014, that Brazil team's goalie was Julio Cesar. I think Ederson and Allison are both miles ahead better than Julio Cesar is. So I think that Brazil wins this game. Then England, Denmark, a rematch of the Euros. Once again, a rematch avenged. I like Denmark making it to the semis and beating England and ending England's Qatar 2022 hopes and sending all the English fans home, even though I always root for England a little bit. Last but not least, Japan, Uruguay. Great battle right here. Suarez taking on Japan. I like Japan to win it and make the semifinals, having one of the most amazing, runs in World Cup recent history for an Asian country. This would be great. Like 2002, I believe Korea made the semis. But yeah, I like Japan making it to the semifinals and in Qatar 2022. So see what Will has.
Yeah, so I have the United States going on a run and Canada, as you see down below. I think this is CONCACAF's year. I mean, people are they're doubting the US. They're saying they're frauds, which I mean, they're not frauds. And I think Argentina again falls short. Messi, his little short king, is gonna be looking all sad at the end of the game
Oh,
when the
yeah.
US stuns Argentina and makes it through to the semifinals and clinches at least a fourth place medal, maybe. But I don't think those even exist. And then next, Brazil, Belgium. This is going to be a battle, but I mean, Belgium, Courtois, solid squad. But Brazil, again, is just so OP. The firepower they have is insane. And I think, again, Neymar is going to prove himself this World Cup. He's going to prove why the debate should be Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, not just Messi and Ronaldo. He should be on the ads with the GOATs, all that stuff. So I think it's Neymar's year, and Vinny Jr. is going to go off. And then next, England versus Mexico. I just, I couldn't have three CONCACAFs going to the semifinals. And so I have to have England dethroning Mexico. It's coming home. Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, the English just love their soccer. It might be rough though. They can't really, there's no pubs in Qatar, no beer drinking. So it's going to be weird with all the sober fans there, I guess, for these British soccer players. And then finally, Canada versus Uruguay. This is where Uruguay's little fantasy run comes to an end. Luis Suarez gonna get a red card this game, or he's gonna be still battling an injury from when they played like Ghana and he gets like slide tackle or something. And then just Canada is gonna go on a run. Alfonso Davies is, I mean, he's gonna go off and carry them. And I mean, Icky maybe score some goals this game. It's gonna be a battle. Uruguay doesn't have the strongest defensive squad, I don't think. So yeah, I got USA and Canada representing.
Love it. CONCACAF is back. My semifinals, Argentina taking on Brazil. Wow, this would be one for the ages. Two South American powerhouses that do not like each other in the soccer sense, facing each other. Argentina and Brazil, they rarely face. I don't know if they faced recently in the World Cup. They faced in Copa America this last summer. Argentina won. I like that to happen again. And Messi to make it back to the World Cup final and get a shot to win it this time. And then the other side, Denmark and Japan. A lot of people probably are kind of confused right now why we have Denmark and Japan in the semis. However, if you look at past trends, it's very common that a team makes a run. Croatia was that team in 2018 that made a run all the way to the finals, and I like Denmark to be that team in 2022, a European team that's sometimes considered like a secondary team. I consider them to be a really solid team in this World Cup, and I like them to make it all the way to the World Cup finals and play Argentina. And in the third place game, I think Brazil will defeat Japan.
Yeah, I love that take about, like kind of a second tier team making it and going on a run like Croatia last World Cup. So I like that with Denmark. But here I have Brazil ending USA's little Cinderella story. I think the US will be proud with this. I mean, going this far would be awesome. I think it would really get people into soccer. I mean, the USA is kind of just built on bandwagon fans. So if we win a couple games, people might be all up in soccer. Like, I think it would be great for us. I mean, that's how really I believe that we will win spawned in. And now all these like high schools be doing it after basketball games and stuff. So I think it'll be a fun run, but it ends with Brazil. They're just too good. And then Canada versus England.
Wow.
Shocker. Battle of the white and red. England again, I think they fall short. I mean, it's coming home is just gonna get too blown out of proportion. Like just random heads like sympathize with England, which there's no reason for that. Like every year, it's like during the Euros, my mom's like, "Oh, I'd be so happy for England." Like, no, we are not happy for England. Uh, who won the war? Like England, no. It's so like good to see them lose and just fall short. They have the best league in soccer in England. Doesn't mean they're the best on the international stage. And I got Canada going far. Maple syrup. Let's go.
Wow. And you have England beating USA in the third place game.
Oh yeah, and then England, USA. The USA at this point, I think, will just be burnt out and just be happy with
Yeah.
what they've done. And England will be all pissed and win.
And in the third place game, that's when you like play everyone and let everyone play in the World Cup with you, right?
Yeah.
All right, my awards. So Golden Boot, I like Lionel Messi to win. I mean, call me mainstream and all, but I think he's going to score the most goals of any single person in this World Cup, given the fact that they're going to play the most games of anyone in the World Cup as well. Golden Glove, give me Kasper Schmeichel from Denmark. I think he's going to ball out, save after save, save after save. This guy's going to ball out and get the Golden Glove and bring his team to the World Cup final. A small nation of Denmark. Last but not least, the Young Player Award. It was Mbappe in 2018. This time, I like Vinicius. If he's eligible, I believe he is. I like Vinicius from Brazil to score a ton of goals and have a really, really good World Cup for that Brazil attack and win the Young Player Award for Brazil and get him even more recognition, even though he's already pretty hyped up for Real Madrid and Brazil.
Yeah, so here are my awards for the Gold Boot. I have Neymar. I think, I mean, I think Neymar is this year. He's last year's Odell Beckham. You know,
I
when
like
you're
that.
on the when you're on the playground, you're yelling Odell me, Odell me. I think Neymar is the Odell of soccer, and everyone switched up on him when he was on the Browns. People kind of switched up on Neymar. I think he proves himself, and he goes off, scores a lot of goals. I mean, he has the squad that can like. They can't focus only on Neymar because there's also Vinny, Richarlison. Like defenses aren't going to be able to kind of shut him out of a game. And so I think that's why I got Neymar balling out this tournament. And then for Golden Glove, I have Fernando Muslera of Uruguay.
Love
I
it.
think, I mean, Uruguay is going to go on a run. So I think they'll have a chance to play more games than some of these other teams. Their defense isn't the strongest, which will give Muslera a great opportunity to kind of not carry them, but to really keep them in games and prove himself and win the Golden Glove. And then young player, although mainstream, I mean, he's kind of already established himself. But Vinny Jr. is just the best young player in the world right now. I mean, $1 billion buyout clause, that shows how valuable he is. And I think he gets it done with this Brazil squad.
Love it. Yeah, so we both have Vinny there. And let's move on to our final. Argentina versus Denmark. What a final this would be. By the way, unlike the Super Bowl, unlike the NBA Finals, College Football Championship, the World Cup final is the most viewed thing live TV in the world ever. I mean, every 4 years is the most viewed thing possible because the whole world will be watching Lionel Messi in Argentina bring it home. Messi gets his first World Cup and Argentina does it. The impossible happens. I really think this Argentina team is a bit more complete than other Argentina teams. Obviously, they have, Messi, Di Maria in wonderful form, but they have a young defense and midfield and Rodrigo De Paul, all these guys, an insane Emiliano Martinez goalie. And they still have the old vets that isn't Messi and Di Maria, like Otamendi, guys like that. And I really think this Argentina team is just in a strong place with a really good coach right now, unlike the past. And I think they win this World Cup. But let's see who Will has bringing it home. Qatar 2022.
Yeah, for me, I got Canada. I think this is
Wow.
I think CONCACAF gets it done. I mean, they stun Brazil. Although, I mean, Brazil might be the most complete squad. I don't want to go with, a mainstream pick, Brazil, Argentina. I mean, I got to go with what are going to get me, like, I mean, good value odds for betting. So I'm going to go Canada. I think Alfonso Davies signs a fat contract. He's going to be like, I mean, he's going to make bread after this. I think Canada is such a just like, it's you need a complete squad where they're just like they're buoying each other up. Like they probably go out to dinner and stuff at night together instead of like other teams where it's all professional. Like I think these Canadians are just boys and they got the chemistry. And I think that's why they're getting it done over Brazil. I think Brazil burns out and it'll, encourage Neymar to he'll make a name for himself and maybe he'll play next World Cup and just like he'll be the Neymar Ronaldo in 4 more years.
Bro, that Brazil Canada game would have one of the best color combos possible.
Facts. The
It'd be
Canada
like that
team's just so
USC UCLA game, bro.
for real.
But yeah, let's check out my full bracket right here. If you don't like the Google Slides format, that's the Fox format. But yeah, as we see here, USA, Argentina, they're going all the way. Denmark here and Will's full bracket here. A little worse quality, but yeah,
That's on me, boys. I think
Canada.
again, Fox is just scamming us. Like you have to get every pick right to win only $1 million. Like,
And
come on
it's to
now.
get the score.
Yeah, like it's just Fox.
But yeah, man, everyone get excited for this World Cup. I am juiced for Qatar 2022. Wish I was there. The village looks sick. Stadiums are really cool. Man, I'm excited just to watch it over Thanksgiving break last school. But yeah, everyone get excited and enjoy this World Cup. And we will see you guys next week. Oliver should be back by then. And yeah. So any last thoughts, Will?
No, I'm just so excited. I'm really wondering what's going to be Qatar's like kind of their statement piece of this World Cup. South Africa, they had those vuvuzela trumpets. That just sounds like a flock of or like a bunch of mosquitoes buzzing in like the stadiums. It was so lit. Like, I mean, what's gonna make it just the feel good, cozy vibes in Qatar?
Facts. What will it be? We will see, and we will see you guys next episode for CS Sports Talk. And see you next time.
See ya.